This clip is brought to you by BatOnline.com.
No, definitely, man. And it's dope because even just hearing you run it, some of the questions I was going to ask you pretty much encapsulated and answered within that as well, which is great because a lot of people did want to know just on the genesis of the concentration camp, just the name of how it came about because it's
Yeah.
quite a interesting name and title. And I guess it's a good segue because they say in between the first and second album releases, you had the Holocaust. They say C-Loc, he met Master P, and at this point, those guys kind of got connected. And Master P had a solo track of yourself called "A Fool," in which he thought it had potential to go wider on a national base. So what can you tell us about that? About some of that early connection then between C-Loc and Master P, and just how you guys then started bridging in with No Limit
Okay.
Records.
Okay. Well, look, for the record, I want to add this to the collection plate as well. Um, when we did this, we was going into the camp thing. Loc, being the CEO of the label, was connected in different ways and going different areas. So somewhere he was, I want to say he met running to Master P or somebody turned them on each other. And we started to work together as cliques and crews. But I forget the start. What I'm trying to say. Dang, yeah, that take my brain into a many dimensions. But him and they was doing their thing. We was evolving. I was saying I want to say this for the record. A lot of people thought it was poking fun at the Jews, who in the lower night, at least in our southern section of the globe. Everybody was just kind of, just a brand new thing, for where it is now. But nobody was looking at the conspiracy theories and so on and so forth. But what we did run into it with Priority being a pretty much Jewish-based establishment and record company. Then there was questions. Who are these guys that want to call themselves the concentration camp? What's this Holocaust? They felt we was, just some young black kids that would have we just taking something we didn't know nothing about and running with it and trying to make it a cute rap group thing. I had to break down the story that I told to you prior to now. I think they asked locally, at the time, hey man, what's up with this? It kind of threatened the deal, threatened me coming out as an artist. One of the rabbis from a Jewish establishment at the time, they put up a boycott for that rap. Before
Was
it
that
blew
from
out
the JDL or the ADL or one of those guys?
I want to say, I don't remember exactly who it was at the time,
Yeah.
but something of that nature. And I ended up, I believe, talking to Brian Turner, somebody from Priority, and gave the definition of what it was. And saying, if anything, I'm not poking fun at the Jews, separating black and Jew. If anything, it should make us combine. We come from the same similar struggles and life struggles with us. And, everybody got their ancient civilization evolution. But for black folks in America, it's it's still modern day genocide. So I was coinciding more or less and saying, we know struggle, we know pain, we know senseless murder, and pilgrimage of a people. So once that was understood, and they uplift the boycott and let us roll with it, and realize, it ain't just no rap group, we just taking a cute name, trying to, be hard as we can be behind a name like the Holocaust. So in relation and respect for the Jews, but what we talking about nowadays with Kanye and all that, I've been on that type of thing. You see what I'm saying? Just, the royal bloodline and so on and so forth. That's another chapter.
Of course, we know what's understood don't need to be explained sometimes. But
I appreciate that. So yeah, that's it basically. And mentioning Loc and Master P, like I say, eventually they would go off to work together with the two companies, and in the midst of that, and backing you up a little bit, the original Concentration Camp self-titled album released the single "A Fool." Other than that, we made records that was in support of C-Loc, the first couple of records, the Who's Gonna Ride, the whatever records. So we was kind of riding side saddle in that sense of the word, and just helping build him as an artist, build the label. Then by the time we would morph into a group, we had the idea to put out a compilation that everybody that had, could have a chance to represent who they was and where they was coming from. So that was my solo contribute to the record, which was, you know, titled "A Fool" at the time. Eventually the hook would take off and grow bigger than the record. And by the time it went from C-Loc Records to No Limit Records, they had started promoting it before I knew it was promoted. And the penitentiaries and anybody, the feedback was tremendous before I even released. So I just, you know, rolled away and compromised, started saying pretty much the rest is history from that point on.